Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're talking about Dejounte Murray, and we're hearing that he is a dark horse candidate for the Brooklyn Nets. Yes, the Brooklyn Nets could come in and get this guy. He's on a cheap deal, and arguably, the Nets have the salaries to match. It's about $20 million they would have to go, and they could give up some nice assets. We assume Ben Simmons, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges would not be in the deal. I don't even know if Dorian Finney-Smith I think would be. I don't think Spencer Dinwiddie. I think the deal should be either if Atlanta wants to move on from Clint Capella, maybe Nick Claxton, but then you have Onyeka, and I think that just becomes then you have to pay. I think Dorian Finney-Smith with if they want to get cap flexibility, Royce O'Neal could get the deal done with picks, or Dorian Finney-Smith, one of the young guys being either Deron Sharp, Cam Thomas, Dariq Whitehead, Noah Clowney packaged in there, and maybe filler after that. I just think they want to keep Ben 10, Cam Johnson, Mikal. Seems like Spencer Dinwiddie has a lot of fans within that organization. And with that being said, I also think that when you look at the Nets, they are a team that they're kind of having a down year, you would say, this year. They're not as good as we thought. Like, they kind of started hot this season, and then last year with Mikal Bridges, we all thought maybe they were going to be a surprise team this year. And right now, which kind of fits the MO that they give when you look at that roster. Jacque Vaughn's a good coach, but we'll admit the roster has some flaws, even though you would say at certain positions they have some decent depth. And by the way, I just noticed that the camera just froze. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, no, I think when you look at this situation, I think it's in their best interest to go ahead and maybe try to go get Dejounte Murray, because he's better than Spencer, point guard, who, no offense to him, is not going to be anybody you want to write home about. As you know, there's a reason why Spencer Dinwiddie has bounced around the league since, I guess, leaving Brooklyn the first time when he got traded from the Wizards. Even though he was really good for the Mavs that half season, we would say, that run that they went on, it was a good run. I mean, it was pretty crazy how far they made it in the playoffs. But what are you getting if you're interested in Dejounte Murray? Well, what you're getting right there is a guy who is one of the better perimeter, passers and rebounders at his position. He used to be one of the better defenders at his position, but that's gone. He's not that player anymore. But I think if you're the Brooklyn Nets, you probably have the assets to give the Nets a deal that they would be most interested in. Like I said, you have multiple young players on contracts that I think you could interest the Nets with. Now, I think Dorian Finney-Smith or Royce O'Neal with young assets is one of those guys, and then young to get that deal done. Should they do it? That dealer's choice at that point. But I think the Nets, it's all about, I don't think they need to bankrupt their future by going after someone that they don't know if it's going to be, a good fit or not. So, but I think the idea, the one thing I have, I mean, unless they want to trade for DeAndre Hunter and Dejounte Murray and they send Ben Simmons in this deal, the Hawks wouldn't want Ben Simmons, because the whole problem with Dejounte Murray was that Trae Young needs the ball more in his hands. And over here, I don't know if Dejounte Murray and Ben Simmons will work together. But let me hear your guys' thoughts. Drink water, ladies and gentlemen. Stay hydrated. They're an interesting team. And shout out Mike Scott, a link in the description. With the teams across the league looking for really good, scrappy 3-and-D wing archetypes and, just point guard depth in general, the Brooklyn Nets are going to be a team people are going to be calling up Sean Marks. Hey, baby, what's going on? Who you got to trade? What's you want for a deal? And they got several of those guys. Let's start with Spencer Dinwiddie, who's become the third net in franchise history with 1,500 or more assists and 500 or more threes, joining Jason Kidd and Vince Carter among names, that are like good old names. And Spencer Dinwiddie is somebody to keep watch for. Spencer Dinwiddie this season so far has not been, bad, nor has he been setting the world on fire. He's been playing 31 minutes a night, averaging just under 15 points, 40% from the field on the dot, 35.8% from three on about 6 attempts a game, grabs 4 rebounds, dishes out 6.5 assists. And the thing with Spencer Dinwiddie, he's not a bad basketball player. I've always been a fan of Spencer Dinwiddie ever since he came there. He's about 6'5", and he's a guy who he plays obviously with a lot of grit. He's a good playmaker. He can get to the rim with the best of him, and he finds shooters. Okay, he's a guy, when he gets hot, he's tough to stop, and he's gonna go 110 every time he's out there. He's shown he can be clutch, and he's not afraid of big moments. He's really a great guy to be off the bench for a championship team. Good for a starter for an average playoff team. 3-point shot is a little shaky, but it's good. And the one thing with him is he isn't the greatest defender in the world, but he can do stuff. So I think he's a guy that teams that need some guard depth, I would think, would want him. And Dinwiddie's probably going to be moved on as he's an upcoming unrestricted free agent, and Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, and Ben Simmons are more core members, with Cam Thomas and Lonnie Walker seeming like they're going to be the guys complementing the future. And it seems more and more that it's going to be Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dinwiddie has been referenced as a guy part of the core, but he just seems like maybe they're just doing it nice. Dorian Finney-Smith and Royce O'Neal, though, are more likely to be traded. Dorian Finney-Smith at this point is, he's been having a great Smith season. He's like a guy who's the prototypical 3-and-D wing. He's a tireless defender, like all defensive team level defender. Okay, and the crazy thing is he's having basically one of the best seasons of his career in terms of rebounds, in terms of scoring, efficiency, basically everything. And he's not even playing the most minutes of his career, and he's guards the best star player every night. He's a low maintenance guy, great catch and shoot guy. He's someone who will back up his teammates, and he doesn't really need the ball in his hands. So I really like him. And then you got yourself Royce O'Neal, who everybody knows me. I love me some Royce O'Neal. And Royce O'Neal this season, he's playing about the same minutes as he did last year. He's averaging an 8, 5, and 3. He's been a guy who's basically been averaging 8, 5, and 3 for the last 5 years. He's added up to 7 assists one season. He shoots about 40% from 3, shoots about 38% from the field right now, but he's primarily a 3-point shooter. So his field goal percentage looks bad, but he's really not. His true shooting's better, and he's just disruptive. He can guard all 5 positions. He's usually matched up against the opposing team's best defenders, and he holds his own, and he doesn't give anything bad offensively. So from what we're hearing is that Finney-Smith has interest from several playoff teams, including the Dallas Mavericks, Miami Heat, Sixers, Grizzlies. And the thing is that Finney-Smith is signed through the 24-25 season, and he has a $15.3 million player option, which is something that the Nets have continued to have a high asking price, with the equivalent of 2 first-round picks if they traded him, with the hope that asking price will drop before the deadline, while they just want 1 protected first-round pick for O'Neal, who's an upcoming free agent, while people are monitoring Nick Claxton if they're going to keep him, because right now Jared Allen makes 20, Nurkic makes 17.5, Pirtle makes 19.5, Brook Lopez 24, DeAndre Ayton makes 33.2. Claxton's projected to earn over $20 million a year, and he's viewed as a core person. And the other guy is Ben Simmons that you need to keep an eye on, but primarily Royce O'Neal and our man Dorian Finney-Smith are the 3 guys to watch. So Brooklyn Nets potential trade candidates. So Brooklyn Nets might trade who? Spencer Dinwiddie, Royce O'Neal, and Dorian Finney-Smith. So let me hear your guys' thoughts if you guys agree with that or not. If not, just let me know why. But that's basically gonna be it. I have nothing else to say. Thanks, guys. Love you, every single one of you. Bye.